everyone, I'm Margaret Holder, branch manager at the Village Branch Library in Pickens, and we are excited that we have partnered with the South Carolina Law to bring to you into your home free legal clinics. Today's topic is expungements, and we have with us Judge Clary. Mr. Clary is a native to Gaffney. He has earned his BA from Clemson University and is a Juris Doctor degree from University of South Carolina School of Law. After law school, Judge Clary served as Senate Judiciary Committee legal counsel for United States Senator Strom Thurmond in Washington, D.C., and enjoyed a successful career as trial attorney in South Carolina. He was elected circuit judge by the South Carolina General Assembly on May 27, 1992, and re-elected in 1996. Upon his retirement from the bench in 2002, Judge Clary was named Assistant General Counsel for Extended Stay America Incorporated, a Spartanburg-based Fortune 500 corporation, and was responsible for risk management and directing major litigation for the corporation that owned 675 hotels in 42 states. He is the co-author of the South Carolina Capital Trial, first and second editions, a bench book relied upon by judges and lawyers throughout the state in capital cases, along with the current United States Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals judge and former South Carolina Circuit Judge Henry Floyd. Judge Clary co-authored the Criminal Trial Bench Book, which serves as a model for jury charges and the operation of criminal court for all South Carolina circuit judges. Judge Clary was elected to the State House of Representatives District 3 seat in 2014 and re-elected in 2016 and 2018. He is a member of the House Judiciary Committee, which he chairs the Elections Law Subcommittee and the Legislative Oversight Committee, where he serves as chairman of the Executive Subcommittee. Clary is also a member of the Joint College and University Screening Commission. Judge Clary was awarded the House Conservation Leadership Award by the Conservation Voters of South Carolina in 2017, Upstate Forever Public Servant of the Year in 2017, Coalition for Access to Healthcare Legislator of the Year in 2019, South Carolina Medical Association Legislator of the Year in 2019, AARP Capital Caregiver in 2019, and South Carolina Sierra Club Environmental Advocate Award in 2020, and the American Association of Nurse Practitioner Advocate State Award for Excellence in 2020, and the National Caucus Environmental Legislator Distinguished Service Award in 2020 as well. He is married to Patricia Broombach Clary, a retired member of U.S. Upstate Nursing Faculty. They reside in Clemson, South Carolina, and have 2 children and 4 grandchildren. So we'll now turn it over to Mr. Clary, and if y'all have any questions throughout this presentation, please post them in the comments, and he'll direct them at the end of the presentation.
Thank you very much, Margaret, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you tonight and to talk about expungements. You know, as a lawyer and a circuit judge in this state, I receive many questions about what is an expungement. And basically, it's a way to help clear up charges or convictions off of your record and make it easier for you to find a job or secure housing or overcome some other hurdles that might come up when you're trying to clear up criminal charges. What kind of charges are eligible? And that's pretty limited because it has to be either a not guilty, dismissed, or nol pros charge, which means nol pros means that the solicitor chose not to prosecute it. But basically it applies to certain misdemeanor offenses. And basically it's something that carries a 30-day fine and or, a 30-day imprisonment and or a $1,000 fine so that it would be eligible for expungement. Now, you have to wait 3 years and have no other convictions in those 3 years before applying for an expungement, except for domestic violence, which carries a 5-year waiting period. And any number of eligible misdemeanor offenses can be counted as a single expense, a single offense for expungement purposes. So, if you have a series of charges that are all misdemeanors that were charged around or at the same time of an original charge, then all of those can be expunged if it arose out of a single incident. Pending charges against someone would make you ineligible for an expungement. Now, there are Youthful Offender Act convictions that allow for certain for youthful offender violations to be expunged. And what this does, it doesn't remove it from your record, but it merely allows only law enforcement to be able to look at it under certain circumstances, usually under an order of a judge. Other offenses, fraudulent checks, failure to stop for a blue light, people who are victims of human trafficking, for example. If you have been charged with prostitution and so forth, then you can have those records expunged. And simple possession or possession with intent to distribute, first offense, is eligible for expungement 3 years after completing that sentence with no convictions in those 3 years. Of course, we have certain diversion programs that judges may require you to complete in order to complete the terms of your sentence and be eligible for an expungement, such as pretrial intervention, traffic education programs, alcohol education programs, conditional discharge for those first drug offense charges, drug court and veterans court. Now, there are costs that are associated with this. There's a $250 application fee to the solicitor's office, a $25 SLED fee, and a $35 clerk of court fee. And keep in mind that in 2019, after 2019, the solicitors may have funds to offset up to 50% of the application fee for expungement. So you need to talk to the solicitor's office wherever you are in asking for that, because those funds might be available, but they're not guaranteed. So what are the steps? Number one, you apply for that expungement. Those are handled by the circuit solicitor's office. We have a circuit solicitor's office here in Pickens County. There are 16 solicitor's offices around the state. So you have to find the solicitor who has jurisdiction in the county where your charges were originated. And then the question is always, how long does it take to get an expungement? It can be anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, but that depends from county to county. Do you need a lawyer to get an expungement? You don't, but you can certainly hire one if you would like. And in certain circumstances, you may want to consult with a lawyer. So that's just a little bit of background on expungements. And Margaret, I'd be glad to take any questions that anyone may have.
Okay, at this time, we do not have any questions. So with the COVID, have you seen any delays in the process or anything?
Insofar as COVID's concerned, it certainly disrupted access to the solicitor's offices. The solicitor's caseload, for example, in the 13th Circuit where we live in Greenville and Pickens County, went up to 23,000 pending cases. So when the caseload goes up that high, then you certainly have a situation where any other paperwork is probably going to be slowed down, because people are working remotely, as did many people in state government, county government, then that's going to slow down the process. But I would think by now that things are getting on a more normal cycle. I was in court last week in Pickens County, and things are beginning to return more to normal. They're starting to have jury trials and so forth. So even though there may be some slowdown, I think that it would probably be negligible now.
Okay, we do have a comment that came in. Can you see it as well, Judge Clary? Or would
I can.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Main reason for expungement for employment related, well, people do background checks when you apply for a job. So if you have a charge that shows up, Stephanie, then you would certainly want to be able, number one, to explain it, or number two, for that prospective employer not to be able to see it. So that would be the reason for expungement for an employment-related issues. And, once again, we talk about housing. There are any number of issues when you try to get an apartment or lease a house. Then there are certainly issues that come up if you have a record.
Okay, I don't see any more comments coming in at this time. So what we're going to do is, if you view this at a later time, or you think of something after the fact, you can always email the library and we can forward those questions on to Judge Clary to provide us with clarification or anything that was discussed. Again, thank you, Judge Clary, for joining us this evening and explaining expungements.
Thank you very much, Margaret. It's been a pleasure.
All right, great.